The next topic for today is about control room monitors, how to estimate the control room monitors. Okay, right. Other questions on RAID, we will take it after the this topic. And also I will show you after the session how to use the Toolbox Plus for calculating a RAID-based storage system. This one, RAID, it is ideal that you use a vendor's calculator or ask the supplier's calculator because the RAID function is actually dependent on the ratio used by the vendor. Some of them may use 8 is to 1, some of them may use 10 is to 1. So it can change. The thumb rule is usually 25% spare for RAID. You need extra storage for the RAID reference data or parity. Okay, so that's the thumb rule. We will see about this and the after we finish the video wall consideration. Okay, so first control room monitors. How do you decide how many monitors are required for your project? How many monitors are required for your project? Once you have an idea on the number of cameras that a project has, it could be 500 cameras, you have to create a category of critical cameras, main entrances, all the identification purposes cameras are critical, right? So they come under the critical percentage. Critical cameras means you need an operator to look at it, look at those cameras all the time, okay? And he should be aware of, or he should be looking at it to identify any issue, any threat, any incident, like storage tanks, petrol tanks, reception desks, storerooms. These are all critical cameras. You have to keep cameras on the screen. Why do we need this estimate in the first place? Okay, why am I even talking about this? Control room monitors. How do you decide the number of monitors in the control room? Again, you can have as many monitors as you want, but that will not be possible when you have a project in hand. The control room may be smaller. The number of monitors, if you have more, can increase the cost. So budget may be an issue. So you need to have just like in camera, minimum you should do detection, right? Same way, there should be a minimum number of monitors for a specific project for the best operation purpose. Okay, so we are going to calculate what is the minimum number of monitors that is suitable for a typical project. Okay, this may not be applicable for perimeter security where maybe you need to see all the areas all the time, but this is for general projects where you have critical areas and less critical areas. None of them is not it's not non-critical. Everything is important. There is highly critical areas, high priority cameras, and less or medium priority. Okay, what is this remaining priority? Remaining priority is your waiting areas, or could be corridors, or it could be certain staircases. Maybe, you only if there is a per usage, you need to know about who is in that area. All right, so they can come under lesser critical cameras. Okay. So let's say thumb rule is around 15%. Let's say 15% of your project, all the ground floor is actually critical, by the way. Roughly speaking, all the ground floor is critical cameras. Roughly 15% of your cameras are critical, and maybe utility and lift cameras are critical. So 15% of your project is critical, 75 cameras, that is out of 500. The remaining is 425. All right, done. Now in your control room, you can see the monitor in 2 by 2, you can see in 3 by 3, or you can see 4 by 4, or you can see uh, these cameras. Okay, that's fine. Or you can see in 5 by 5. All right, you can still see all the cameras quite okay. We can put few cameras here. Okay, the more higher the density you go, the lesser the or more strain for the operator to make any identify any difference or any intrusion in the scene. Okay, if it is all different rooms, maybe one is roof, other is staircase, other is parking area. If it is all different scene, different scene altogether, it will be difficult for the operator to identify any incident. So ideally, this whatever the operator is looking at, this scene, if it's all similar, then his ability to detect an intrusion will be good. Maybe all of them are parking entrances, all of them are main entrances, lift entrances. Then the operator will have certain ease in identifying an incident. Okay, then 3 by 3. 3 by 3, if you have few cameras, good, but when you have large projects, 3 by 3 can become an expensive because you need more monitors. So generally speaking, 4 by 4 or 5 by 5 is commonly used. So let's say I am going to keep all the critical cameras fixed. There will not be any change. No one will change the view. It will always be on the monitor. Let's say 4 by 4. Okay, if I keep 4 by 4 at a time, I can see 16 camera. So total monitors required will be 75 divided by 16. So I need 5 monitors permanently fixed. Then the remaining cameras, I can do a feature called sequence. Sequence, we saw yesterday what is sequence. So sequence is a group of cameras switching every 10 seconds. It will show this for 10 seconds. After that, it will show the remaining 10 cameras, right? So it's changing the layout to another 10 cameras. And after 10 seconds, again, it will go back to other set of cameras. So when you have lots of staircases, you can probably put all of them as one group. All the staircases, all the back door, back lobby areas, anywhere you already have access control for the person to come inside. It's a little bit more secure and things like that. Then you can keep it under your less critical areas. Okay, so I am doing a sequence of 5 by 5. Every time it changes, every time I can see 25 cameras. So within 1 minute, okay, every 10 seconds. So within 1 minute, it's 60 seconds. So I can see 6 times 25 cameras. So total 6 into 25 is 150 cameras. So you got this point. At a time, I'm seeing 25. After 10 seconds, I'm seeing another 25. So within 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. So within 60 seconds, I will see 6 times 25. That is 150 cameras. Okay, so the remaining number of monitors will be less critical divided by 150. That will give you 3. So total monitors required is 8. Okay, this is the minimum level. You can have additional 1 or 2 monitors for the operators to take video export, to check, you know, to do functions like this, to check the dashboard, or you can have a separate monitor for events. Only if there is an event, it will pop up, or for doing investigation and search and playing back. Okay, what happened this time? Who was here, and so on. If you want to do this level of detail, you need to keep a separate monitor for this or a PC for this, where you do export, where you do spot investigation, um, and also probably you have alarms that you want to verify, you can do that. Okay, so you can keep additional 1 or 2 monitors for that purpose. All right, so how will your video wall look in this case? Okay, so total 8 monitors. For this image, I need 5 monitors for fixed view. Okay, so let's say I don't have budget for 8 monitors, then I can go to, I can make fixed view as 5 by 5. Then I need total 6. Okay, in this case, 5 by 5 fixed view, three monitors on the top, all of them are sequencing. Why 1 minute? Let's say the operator decides at any point what's going on in the staircase area. So he will look at one of the monitor with all the staircases. Within 1 minute, that camera will come up. So he'll be fine. Okay, I saw some no issue, no incident. He'll go back to the other view. All right. So if you keep sequencing for 10 minutes, then he has to keep looking at the screen for 10 minutes. So that is not right. That will not work out. So that's why they keep, you can keep as low as you want, but generally speaking, within 1 minute, you should identify an incident. Okay. The next point, excuse me. When you have a large number of monitors on your project, you need a video wall solution. Because just like NVR, when you have too many NVR, too many camera, you need VMS. Same way, when you have too many monitors, let's say 16 monitors in this project, four monitors, 16 monitors, then it's good if you have one video wall manager, which will control what cameras will be displayed, what layout will be displayed on each monitor. Otherwise, if you don't have, you have to go, you will have 12 keyboards, 12 mouse. You need to go to that specific keyboard mouse, or you have to have another hardware to manage all this. So it can be good if you have a video wall based application for when you have a lot of monitors in the project. Also, video wall allows you to merge monitors. You can have one camera across four monitors. Otherwise, it will be one, two, three, four, five, six, total six monitor. But I can merge one camera across four monitors. Also, a benefit in this case because you can see a 4K and a big screen, or maybe this is the critical monitor that you want everyone in the control room to see. It may be useful. Again, very rarely used. If you put it on one screen also is more than enough, but these kind of features may be possible. Another option, video wall can be supplied by the CCTV vendor, but most of the time it will be, in that case, it will be related to CCTV. There are also third-party vendors who supply video wall, where you can, in the control room, you can use that video wall to connect other system, maybe access controls, PMS, fire alarm, everything in one single video wall. That can be possible. But just remember that is good, but you will make it extremely difficult for the operator. The operator should also be trained on one more application, one more video wall software to operate, to learn the interface, to be trained. So you make it difficult. So you should also make it easier. So apply it wisely. Other considerations are uh, critical areas, you need operators to look at it all the time. So whereas the non-critical areas, the amount of stress or the effort by the operator is lesser. So if the operator is looking at critical areas, it's good to have a backup operator to do the task. All right, this is just based on certain surveys where the higher the number of monitors the operator is looking at, the lower his capability to detect any incident. Higher the monitors. Okay. Then generally for an operator, how many camera scenes or how many scenes that can be assigned to one operator? Let's say in a scene, the operator detects an incident and it takes him 2 seconds. And after he detects, he will identify whether it is really an incident. It will take another 2 seconds. Then for him to call the emergency or call someone to response to create an incident can take another 20 seconds. And then with he has to take all the okay, that takes around 20 seconds. So totally for the incident, it took him 24 seconds. Ideally, you should make the decision, all the decision whether everything is okay or not within 60 seconds, right? So how many scenes can he see? This is actually a formula. If this is the capability of the operator, some operator, new operator, they need more time, but generally this guy can see up to 10 scenes. Okay? Maybe 10, a scene can have four camera, five camera, but it's 10 scenes. Now, if you use analytics, the detection is done by the camera itself. So you reduce the that time. In that case, he can see up to 20 scenes. All right, you see 2 second difference can actually double his capability to monitor. All right. Okay. The decision making, if it is 60 seconds, it's fine. But there are certain main entrances. What if there is an armed robbery, main entrances? He has to decide quickly. He cannot wait for 1 minute. In those kind of situation, you should limit the number of scenes that the operator is monitoring. See, most of the time you have security guards on the entrance itself, near the entrance itself. So you are having a backup. So it's fine. But if you don't have, then just keep in mind that how fast you want him to react to an incident will determine how many scenes he can monitor at the same time. Okay, all right. Okay, you can read about this. Basically, a scene I already explained. It should be visually coherent. It should be similar scene, not be different scenes, different buildings, different location. That not to make it complicated. And it in the monitor, you should group in an intelligent way, not no, I mean entrance one, then entrance two. It should not be entrance seven, eight like that. It makes it difficult for the operator. Then for the operator, there is a vision, right? Just like you, when you look in front of your screen, that's your main area. It's called peripheral vision, near peripheral. In near peripheral is where you can quickly identify any incident. If it is side, it's called mid peripheral. uh, it will require for you to slightly move your eyes to see if something happened. In far peripheral, you have to move your head to see if something has happened. So in far peripheral, if you keep critical monitors, for sure it should be associated with analytics. So it will create a sound. Then he will turn his head and see. So critical monitors should be within this near and mid peripheral area. Okay, and another common question is what should be the resolution of the monitor? Um, okay, resolution of the monitor. Now, when you use a 42-inch 2 megapixel monitor versus 42-inch 4K monitor, the pixel, let's say this is 42-inch 4K means how many pixels? Okay, first we have to look at the slide. If it is a 4K monitor, the horizontal pixel is 3840. Horizontal pixel for full HD is 1920, 1920 by 1080. You know this. Okay, more pixels. When you have a 42-inch monitor, full HD, the size of the monitor is already fixed, right? 42 inch. If you have full HD, the difference, pixel 1, pixel 2, there is a gap in between. You can see the gap. But if you have in the same 42 inch, maybe 3000 pixels, you're doubling or tripling or making it 4 times more pixels. Now you cannot see the difference. You cannot see the gap, right? So this is why whenever you have higher resolution monitors, well, that's why it's not yet very commonly used in control room, the viewing distance will be reduced. You have to go closer to see. When you have a 4K monitor in 42 inch, you have to be actually less than 1 meter in front of the monitor to see what's going on. Makes it difficult to differentiate between pixels, differentiate between an incident and a non-incident. All right. That's why higher the resolution, more the closer the distance. Closer the distance is difficult because too much strain on the eye and he cannot see more monitors. That's why still full HD is quite commonly used. All right, I hope you got the idea. So far from the monitor, he can see more monitors, right? It's like this monitor is staring at your face. This one, you will have enough view to sit back and relax and see the, there can be some distance. If this is very close, it can be painful. However, if that's the only option, you have to follow these guidelines, best practices to achieve the best distance and viewing distance. So you can always approach a control room, you know, furniture manufacturer, right? There are many reputed brands. They do ergonomic design. They can consider all these for you when they do the design. So that's why it is okay to approach such vendors when you have a control room design requirement. All right. All right. So that brings us to the end of today's session and also the end of 4-day video foundation course. And today also I will be setting you a quiz link. Now, just some guidelines. Once you finish the quiz, you have just give us some time. It will take up to 30 days before we collect all the results, check all the results. We will check your attendance because attendance is also mandatory. We will check everything and then we will put forward um, whoever is certified and so on, and then we will issue the certificate within 30 days.